quality nurses to ensure good quality care. That is a sore point with us, but we have started training programs for them. We are looking out to tribal agencies and organizations which do trainings for nurses. So we are already in the process of that. And controls, since we have multiple centers, controls is a problem, but we ensure controls. We have a central control room in Delhi which monitors all centers across. We have a very high-end MIS, very high-end informatics system. That all hospitals are connected to each other real time. You can see whatever is happening. We have a central purchase committee which does purchases at central contract rates. So all these things have helped us to crack this very quickly. In 3 years, we have already built up 5 hospitals in Haryana, in addition to the 4 in Delhi. And we are looking to scale up very quickly. In the next 2 years, we aim to double our bed strength and add 10 more hospitals to our network in Haryana.
Excellent. Thank you, Shuchin. I think that's a very good bird's eye view of a success story of building a new model. You know, innovation is the name of the game. So innovation, the moment the word is uttered, normally some product comes in front of us. But innovation is all encompassing. Innovation is in thinking. I heard, you heard mentioning the word smart. That's the word. I mean, if smart management, as you mentioned, is a key success factor in other sectors, why not in healthcare? Again, for the same reason. You need quality, you need affordability, you need accessibility. These are often these often have contradictory kind of tone in it. You make it affordable, you make it accessible, and you also want good quality. What's the right balance? Perhaps that's the important thing. And I really want to throw a challenge at you. Did I hear correctly when you said that from Haryana you have to come to Delhi? I think if Dr. Jihan was there in the morning, he would say, hey, stop by in Vedanta. Or if Shivendra Singh was here, stop by in Evimarai. So frankly, I think Haryana to be. I'm talking about basically Gurgaon, which is possibly not Haryana. So you are possibly talking about the next level of.
I tell you the geography of Haryana. Haryana has 21 districts.
Right.
And super specialty tertiary level healthcare facilities are available only in 3 of these districts.
Right. So that's
and out of these 3, 2 are practically in Delhi, Gurgaon and Faridabad. And Hisar is the only 3rd district which offers super specialty.
So that's the important point, you know. I mean, in my years with my erstwhile organizations, Philips and Hewlett Packard, if you ask me, Dr. Raj, what is the one big struggle that you had? I had no struggle with any of them, ever. I had struggled internally in reaching across to our colleagues from abroad who don't know India that well, I'm talking about the past, is that there is no one India. There is not even one Haryana, as you just heard. This sounds much similar than what it is actually. And possibly the organizations which have understood the power of this, you know, that there is no one India. So we need to choose in what India we want to operate. With we means whether it's NSDC, Sector City Council, or Apollo, or Fortis, or Vedanta, or a medical college hospital. Each one needs to decide in which India, and within the India, in the state, whether you will operate in a Gurgaon or in a Hisar. And I think, you know, it's like try holding a torch in a new moon day where there is no moon. And if you move the torch by 1 degree, you find the light at 500 or 200 yards moving by many, many yards. So I think for investors, it is extremely important. You can never make 100% correct planning. You need to go through the continuous improvement cycles of plan, do, check, act. But in the planning stage, I think you need to decide, like, what is the path, what is the end point that you want to achieve. So, Shuchin, thank you very much. I think more of such dynamic entrepreneur shift thinking needs to come to India, in Indian healthcare. We could do with more such good stories, success stories. Going back to the education or skill part, Dr. Zainab Zaidi, can you please share with us, firstly a question. Before healthcare, were you involved in any other industry or sector? Because I want to bring the comparison if possible. If it is a challenging task, then we'll go to some other direction. But what is your feeling from Epic's position, like from healthcare sector skill council? Because I know your partners meeting and you meet other sectors. What are those unique challenges that need to be reached in healthcare, which other sectors don't face? So any thought of that?
It's very difficult to even actually, it's a challenge for healthcare sector skill council also, because at the DC when they talk about sector skill council, they talk about all the 31 sectors which contains automobile or a construction or retail or IT or others. And the uniqueness of healthcare, where there is a life of everyone's family is also at stake, is something which we always have to emphasize, and we have to be very. I mean, it's not a numbers or targets, or we know that there is the importance of having it, and definitely we know how to go about it, and we want to go about it. We know that is the only way of reaching out and actually fulfilling the gaps which we are talking about everywhere in all the forum, in all these cities and everywhere. But apart from that, the other challenge which healthcare has is having as per eligibility, as per the requirement, having the trainers available, having the assessors available. It's not that easy to get healthcare doctors, nurses, and everyone. Anyway, we're having shortages, and it's not easy to have these assessors available to go for assessments and carry out. So these kind of challenges are definitely there, and it cannot be compared with other sectors. And not only this, the challenges are also reaching out to the rural area where we don't have specialists available. So if we're talking about cardiac care technician or a medical lab technician or a radiology technician, then we want the skilling to be analyzed, checked, assessed, and then certified and employed. It is not that easy, because reaching out to northeastern states, where definitely the focus right now, the ministry's focus is a lot on the northeast states, where we are covering Assam and Manipur and all these states. But then reaching out there and having an infrastructure, as we rightly said, we don't have even the infrastructure. They don't talk about simulation labs, or they don't know about the mannequins available and how to provide that kind of skilling, which we are talking about, the accreditation and skilling, and to have people to be employed in these initiatives in these hospitals and well equipped, well trained to perform those kind of duties also is a challenge. And definitely we have these challenges in every forum. We have to place these kind of challenges also.
Thank you. I think you bring another very interesting and practical element. Like in a Sumatra college, the ratio of it is not only the doctors to beds. It's similar to that. The ratio of teachers to students. I mean, there could be eager students, but you don't have enough trained people who can actually teach. Another role of mine, I am a board member of NIIT and NSDC's joint collaboration company. And I just this example comes to my mind, the social aspect of healthcare. I see Dr. Arvind Lal, our good friend and another guru in healthcare. Arvind, welcome. This thought comes seeing him, because even in the Nat Health launch video when we inaugurated, Arvind Lal spoke about CSR. I think the social aspect of healthcare is something which we can never overlook in any discussion. The ethical aspect, the social aspect of healthcare. In that capacity of being a board member of this called NIIT Juvat Jyoti, you talked about youth in the first few minutes. It is about youth, how do you talk about attracting youth? How do you attract youth? So I sort of, and you mentioned about Sonipat, we had arranged some of our board meetings in, I said, let's not have it in Delhi, because Delhi doesn't represent India. If we want to move to the other side, we had in Sonipat. Trust, believe me, we had colleagues like Vijay Chinoy, MSDC senior of MD, and Vijay Tarani, the legendary founder, one of the co-founder members of NIIT. We all had years in our lives. There was a day's program culminating in convocation. And the students, up to 10,000 rupees or 8,000 rupees, that's their target. That after going to these courses, 10 plus, 12 plus, they didn't go to college. They just earned that much for their family. And they are all from neighboring villages. Sonipat, I had a glimpse of what this segment is. For me, this thought comes, whether tier 2, tier 3, infrastructure, skill gap, end of the day, there is a social aspect, the people aspect. And in the convocation, they all brought their parents, some panchayat sarpanch, some farmers. And it was a different, I have those people right now, and I think this is what living life for. the tremendous feeling they had. They were overwhelmed with gratitude to NIIT New for providing this skill to make them employable. And we actually did some field visits. I wanted to go to a small hospital someday, but Cygnus, I think, was not present, so next time we'll catch that. We went to retail outlet, and we saw some of these boys and girls, and some of them we saw in an NSD's partner street, trying to pick up English, for example, and we said, you would have to speak in English, speak in your mother tongue, speak in Hindi. It's sort of in healthcare, the gap of demand and supply is so much today, and when you talk about this groundswell of good feeling that you can generate for society, the groundswell of good feeling which will counter a lot of media publicity healthcare is getting in the area of ethics and lack of ethics. In fact, this morning also there was a good NDTV program where I saw Dr. Lal spoke his mind as he always does. I think this is therefore what I'm trying to say. It's like that healthcare and this model everything has always been like a jigsaw puzzle. And the best model is, like you said, smart management. It's about smart thinking. Whosoever gets to fit the maximum number of jigsaws into the puzzle is the winner, both in terms of business and in terms of care as well as in terms of social contribution. That's what I think, I also have a question now, which I will ask, but you did not answer. Very interesting, you said this 5+2, the beach hospitals are all in the south. And, the immediate thought comes to the mind, is it because the families are from the south? Or is it because, if you see the parameters, South India, the 4 states are way ahead compared to most other states. Now, this is a question that just came to my mind. I'm sorry I'm asking this question rather abruptly, but any thought on that? Because you are planning. Like, is there around the country a diversity which needs to be looked at also while talking about this topic?
No, there is no doubt that the concentration of our management, we are a south-based group or we south-originated group, that is one thing. Availability of doctors is another. And humanism. But one thing I have found from my own experience in North India is certainly there is a problem with the cost of land also. Because wherever